Friends, this is purely anecdotal and is just something that I've noticed myself. Really curious if you've noticed the same. So a lot of the people that I follow on Instagram who you might consider like cycling influencers, they seem to like be getting into mountain bikes. First it was like fixed gears, and then it was cross, and then it was gravel and like off-road, and now it's like mountain bikes. I recognize how hypocritical it is for me to be saying that, considering my content literally follows every trend that's going on. Anyway, like what I want to answer through my own experience and without research, again, is why? Why is that happening? And oh yeah, this video is brought to you by Bombas. These. Now, depending on whether or not you're a gravel or mountain bike person, Bombas got socks for you. From loud look at me designs to a little more understated. Made from the most comfortable cottons and merino wools that they could source, put together using tech to get rid of that annoying toe seam and create a honeycomb midsole pattern. That's this part right in the middle. They're perfect for gravel riding or mountain biking or road riding or running. Whatever you want. They are the most comfortable sock I've worn and ridden in. If you go to the Bombas website, linked below, and use code SPIN20 at checkout, 20% off your order. And you can feel good about it because Bombas donates one article of whatever you purchased for every one article of what you purchased. Matched donations to whatever it is you purchase to community in need. Well, for one, it just sort of seems like natural progression. Depending on what type of terrain you decide to ride a gravel bike on, spend enough time on narrow, gravelly-ish trails with like rocks and stuff. You don't stand a chance. The curiosity's gonna kill you. And that was even brought up when I mentioned that I was riding a lot more mountain bikes in this channel in the comments. Someone was like, it's like being into like emo music and then slowly getting into like heavier metal music. I could not have put that more lame. Gravel bikes may have just been the greatest gateway tool to mountain bikes that the bicycle industry has ever come out with. And I don't know if they know that they did it. And next has gotta be accessibility. It's gotta be. At least here on the east coast of Canada, there are more legal sanctioned trails than ever before. And what that does, I think, is get rid of that awkward barrier for someone new who wants to try mountain biking, but like, where do you go? Everything's a secret. You know, you're not supposed to talk about it. These places are kind of difficult because they're not built for the public. It just makes it a lot less intimidating to go to. Back when I started mountain biking years ago, you had to know somebody. Like, you had to have a friend who already rode mountain bikes and went through the gatekeeper process to find out where everything was, to learn where everything is. That's how you got started mountain biking. It's difficult. These days, you can get an app. There's an app on your phone, Trail Forks. You can find all the local trails and then go to them. You could even, for around here, there's Mountain Bike Atlantic. Every bit of detail on trails in this area that are sanctioned and legal, they're online for you to find. They're very inviting. They're professionally built. They've got trails at varying different skill levels. And you go there and you try the easier trails and work your way up. And I think for the longest time, gravel riding has enjoyed the advantage of just, you get on the bike and you can go anywhere. If you see a road that seems like the bike can handle it, you go on it. I think it still enjoys more accessibility, but the gap is closing. It's closing enough that more and more people, they're grabbing one of these things. The biggest thing that I can't figure out with this point is, did the interest show up before the trail? Like, what was the chicken or egg? Like were trails getting built to grow interest, or was the interest there and the trails needed to show up? Either way, people across the world are doing great work that I'm not doing, and I appreciate it. suspect some of you are not going to agree with this next point that I believe, but base model mountain bikes these days, they're pretty good. Like, they're pretty good. They just are. So if that was like a barrier that you're like, no, we got to get something really, really good because that's all anybody else around here rides. They only ride the best stuff. Well, maybe you don't have to think about that so much. You can get that entry-level bike and ride it on entry-level trails. It will be fine. And then if you find out you love it, then you can start doing the dumb stuff that I do, maybe. This bike was heavily upgraded. Yes, I know, it's just the one I have here to show you. And finally, this is going to be a mildly self-serving, but honestly, I believe this, the amount of independent YouTubers, Instagram people, people who have been riding mountain bikes all this time and not being like pro riders, not like someone that you would, look up to because they're absolutely insane, just like normal, average riders who make content around mountain biking, I think do more of a job in making mountain biking seem more relatable and attainable than any previous type of media there has ever been for mountain biking. Of course, that's my belief. I'm extremely biased because I am a YouTuber and I am making more and more mountain bike content. But I don't think it can be understated how much of an influence... I don't think it can be understated the effect that mountain bike content has had in the growth and the exposure of mountain biking to millions. Like, you know what? I'm going to say it. Billions of people. Think of all of the mountain bike YouTubers or Instagram people. Like, it's endless. There's endless content, and you can find someone who resonates with you easily. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe, just maybe, mountain bike content is just that little more interesting to consume than, gravel content. So mountain biking, once again, certainly has the upper hand in the media side of things. But of course, that's just my opinion. That's seemingly what I've observed over the last year or so. It's even more so now than ever. Yeah, have you noticed it? I don't know.